The Indian Movie of the Year. An epic action drama which is currently the second highest grossing film in India of all time. It is featured on many lists of best movies of 2022 in general, also out of India, and at the moment it is the most expensive Indian movie ever made. And let me tell you, the hype is real. This movie really is a spectacle. The movie, of course, is RRR, which stands for Rise, Rot, Revolt, and trust me, it's worth what you've heard about it.
Best uses of time management in a movie I've ever seen. 3 hours long never felt like 3 hours long. The movie always had momentum. It was always being pushed forward. They made the most of their time. This movie, I don't think is going to be for everybody in Western audiences. Some people might find tonal conflicts. Some people might find the action sequences over the top in that cheesy way rather than a fun or fulfilling way. But for me, not only was the movie fun, not only was it fulfilling, but it was memorable. I'm going to remember RRR. And if I'm being honest, movies like this are why I came up with the term awesome-tacular. Because sometimes awesome and spectacular just, they're not enough on their own. You gotta combine them. I thought RRR was awesome-tacular.
This was the first Transformers. This is when CGI was like, it was like, oh shit, CGI is actually good. These look like real robots or whatever. So we're young and we're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, blah, 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 blah. They text me when I said, have you seen RRR yet? And they're like, that was the greatest cinema experience or theater experience I have ever had in my life. So for the love of God, please go see it in front of the biggest screen that you can. I finished it a couple hours ago, and I feel like my life should be judged pre-seeing RRR and post-seeing RRR.
I finished it about 20 minutes ago, and I feel like I ripped the biggest line of cocaine I've ever ripped in my life. Like, my nose is bleeding, and I'm eating the blood because I don't want any coke to go out.
Cocaine wishes it could give you this type of high.
Fucking Rambo. Marvel could never. Fucking, what did you say? Fast and Furious could never.
Look, that's coming from us.
Guys.
This is, yes, dear listeners, we are serious. This movie, India has delivered a film that pummels the Fast and Furious and the MCU and the Bond franchise and any action movie you can think of into the ground. But it's not just an action movie. It is so much more. It is about brotherhood. It is about friendship. It's about rebellion. And it's about some sick, sweet dance.
Trust me, this movie knows exactly what it is and does not care, and I love it for it. You know, this is probably one of the more exciting and creative viewing experiences I've had in 2022. And I've seen some really good movies this year, but something about RRR just felt really refreshing to me. I haven't seen too many movies like it, and I'm kind of upset now because I feel like I need to after this. Everything from the stunts, to the action, to the characters, the costumes, the settings, everything about RRR feels very unique. Just found myself getting really invested in the culture and the aesthetic of everything that was being presented to me in this movie. And this movie has one of the greatest dance numbers I think I've ever seen since Dirty Dancing.
Ooh, this seems like it'll be epic as hell. The tickets for it were 3 times more than a regular ticket. I couldn't use my unlimited plan, but I did see it in the RPX theater, which means even the seats felt like they were going to explode. And it was totally worth it because by God does this movie give you your money's worth for 3 hours of solid bone-cracking, face-punching, and motorcycle-throwing action.
I saw that trailer. Immediately I was thinking, like, I gotta see this. Because it was the most, like, layered action sequences I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
I mean, there were so many moving parts.
Trailer's a fucking trip.
The trailer in itself is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Have come together and form this, what most would seem an unlikely friendship from where they're both their backgrounds, and end up becoming one of the most romantical, action-packed movies, of all time.
It is the most, it's like the manliest fucking movie I've ever seen.
It's great. All jokes aside, I mean, that movie it will stay with me for a while.
Yeah, we laughed, we cried.
I cried.
We screamed.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I teared the fuck up.
I had tears of joy
I
watching
cried.
that movie.
I cried. No, I had tears of. There were moments that tugged at my heartstrings.
Yeah. That.
Holy shit, man. If you'd told me that a 3-hour-long Tollywood, epic drama movie featuring insanely overblown action sequences that take the laws of physics, gravity, and common sense and tell them to go fuck themselves, CGI that I could charitably describe as somewhat lacking in realism, crazy song and dance numbers intercutting the narrative that range from whimsical to poignant to fucking baffling, melodramatic revelations and betrayals that wouldn't be out of place in a Spanish soap opera, and portrayals of British people that make the Americans from Squid Game look like fucking Oscar-winning performances, would ultimately turn out to be one of the most enjoyable, fun, uplifting, and emotionally satisfying movies I've seen all year, I would have spat out my brandy and asked you what the devil you were all about, sir. And yet, there it is. R. Fuck it, I'm calling it Triple R from now on. It's an absolute blast of a film that I'm extremely glad I finally made the time to watch.
So I went to see it and was blown away. It's the type of movie Hollywood cannot make today. What is it? It has everything you could possibly want in a film. It's drama, it's action. I mean, incredible over-the-top action like you have not seen in a film. It's historical epic set in the 1920s. It's romantic. It has singing and dancing.
So, you have a movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. Well, actually, it's something that's in development over on the Tollywood side of things, and I figure we could, Okay, so what's it called? It's called RRR. Oh. Yeah, exactly, except no, it stands for Rise, Roar, Revolt. I kinda roared. Yeah, a little. Amazing. Now, just before we get into it, I want you to know that it's, it's pretty much a bromance. What? But I just want you to know, when you see a man throw a leopard at another man in this bromance, that's not a real leopard. What kind of bromance is this? And you're gonna see some tigers get punched a couple of times, once with a big flaming lantern. That is not a real tiger, okay? You know what? This disclaimer is actually kind of the perfect intro, because now I need to know what the hell you're talking about. Fantastic, sir.